But cool. Thank you, Danielle, for being here for a conversation around the joy formula. You came in
Happy to be there.
with a lot of enthusiasm, and I know you from different spaces, and you are definitely somebody who embodies, you know, like that childlike curiosity that creates joy. That's like one of the big aspects of the joy formula. And I'm curious to just have a conversation with you, primarily, share a little bit my take around what maybe my joy formula is, but then also hear what yours is and see if we can, I don't know, adapt the formula to fit even better or to see what would maybe work for others as well, as you are also a coach, a life
Mhm.
coach. That's how we know each other. And yeah, I think I just want to make this a conversation between the two of us so that others can then learn, yeah, can learn from that. How does that sound?
It sounds excellent, Fabi.
Nice. Awesome. Cool. So, yeah, first of all, thank you for being here. And I want to ask you, I feel I know the answer already, but if you look back at the year 2024, would you say it was a joy-filled year or not so much? Or just like meh?
The reply is yes, it was. And you know, why was it? Because it was like a transformative year for me. I learned a lot, and and you see, the idea of living every present moment, and I guess this will come as well when, with your talk. I mean, I'm really kind of embracing it, and you know, life is what we make of that.
Hmm.
It doesn't come from others. It's not others or jobs or situations which are going to make us happy. It's internal.
Yeah.
And every day we can choose, how we want to feel. And this was a long reply to say that last year or this year was really, I got more and more into that. It's muscles you train, etc. But afterwards, it becomes your way of life, and you are really appreciative for every moment of your life. And when you are grateful,
Yeah.
this is really when happiness kicks in.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you. So what I'm hearing you say is that it's really the skill of learning how to be grateful and make decisions in every day of your life. And even so in every moment as well, right? To just tune in and check in with joy. What was it that brought you to that realization, and what do you do specifically to keep coming back to that?
Thank you for asking the question. And see, one very important element is as well have a passion and follow a passion as well. It's part of happiness, having a purpose. What do we really want to do? And for me, it's become clear over the last few years, but now I really put it into practice, is about, helping, people living the best life they can, transforming. And I experienced it myself, and it's still an ongoing process.
Mm-hmm.
But by doing that, I'm very grateful for everything in my life. You know what? I get up in the morning, I see the sun is shining, the birds are singing. Really, it's these little things. And afterwards, it's about as well helping people, really just contributing to make this world a better place.
Mm, I love that. Was there a time in your life where you didn't see the beauty in every moment, or like just seeing the little things and finding joy in that? Or was that always kind of part of your inner nature?
See, if it was always in my nature, yes, but sometimes it was suppressed. Perhaps I suppressed it. I had difficult moments in my life,
Hmm.
in different aspects. But I guess I always had it in me that, you know, uh, I knew that at a given time, if I really wanted to, I could, get out to or get back to what my previous version of myself was. You mentioned, and thank you for the kind words like joyful, and some people mention that as well. But it's really, I'm really think life is nice, and it's really worth living, and it's but what I realized is sometimes in order to do that, we have to make changes and drastic changes. And one, Fabi, it's about surroundings. Which kind of people are we surrounding ourselves with? Which kind of energy do they have? Are they upliftingness or draining us downwards, And this is a first really important step, because again, this is up to us. Sometimes we cannot do things on our own. And when we interact with others, this is where the beauty comes. I suppose we'll talk more about this, about like-minded communities.
Yeah, there's definitely something to the environment that we're in that can be highly supportive or highly unsupportive about like how we're able to see joy, right? And changing the environment can have a huge impact because it starts reflecting back to us a different way of being. And when people around us are more positive with us, we also get that permission to be more positive with ourselves, compared to if we are in an environment where everybody is always rather negative. And we also speak a lot about the victimhood, right? That victim mentality. And then they're reinforcing that story onto you as well. And like it's that whole drama dynamic that plays out there. And it's really hard to get out of that by ourselves if we don't have, like, if we're not really settled in our inner seat of our core of who we are, and that deep knowing that we are not only enough, that that we're enough, that we're loved, that we are all that we need, that we are good, that we're perfect as we are, with the ability to still also grow and get better, or just change and adapt and grow. But one thing that I'm often challenged with in terms of answers from people is like, well, but I can't just leave my marriage, or I can't just get out of my parents' home, or I can't just leave, I can't just let them go. They're my family, they're my people, this is my village, it's my job, whatever. So what do you think about that, when we do not have a choice necessarily in this very moment right now to change our surrounding? Is there anything that can be done in that situation as well? Or are people who are at the moment stuck in their environment, their negative environment, are they doomed for sadness and sorrow and a shitty life?
Well, thank you for asking the question. And you see, you speak about victimhood. And victimhood, what does it mean as well is we leave our power to somebody else to decide how we feel and how life is with us. And most of people are in that state of mind. I mean, well, a lot of people. But first of all, we've got to remember one thing. And really, I'm saying this to myself as well. We only have one life. We only have one life. And really, this message is, for me, is powerful. And it's our duty to ourselves to live the best possible life. So, you see, you mentioned some examples, Fabi. For instance, we are stuck in a relationship, a marriage. It's not great, but we can't get out of this. Who said that? Who said that? Society? Others? You see, we know what is best for us. And again, it's not at all being selfish. And this is very important. It's really about looking at our needs, our needs, our physical needs, our mental needs, our spiritual needs, and making sure that, we fulfill them the best possible, because it's only when we do that we are going to interact better with the outside world. The mere reflection of who we are. So in a marriage, if it's not working, well, it's not working for both parties. I would be surprised to hear that for wasn't normally. So what happens is sometimes when you realize that, of course, there is a fear. What is going to happen? What are the consequences? First, we have to try everything we can to make it work. And this is within our control. And we try and we listen, etc. But if and when we realize it's not the case, we've got to make a decision. And this decision, it means getting out of our comfort zone. It's not easy. But afterwards, when we realize to distance ourselves, and you talk about family members, of course you can't, family is family, but the way they speak to you, and that we cannot change people. That. Unless they want.
I know that, we know that, but a lot of people don't, right? So
exactly, unless they want to change. So what happens is, the only thing we can change is, what do we make of that? If people trigger us the whole time, could be family members, could be friends, we can distance ourselves from them. Just keep a distance, and remember as well that whatever people think or say or do, it's nothing to do with us. It's really people expressing, their insecurities, their perhaps childhood traumas, as people say, but it's got nothing to do with us. And when we realize that, and when we consciously decide not to take things personally, I know this was for me one of the biggest transformations over the last 2 years. So.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for sharing that. And I want to speak to what you just said in terms of taking distance from them. And oftentimes we might believe that taking distance means we need to leave them, we need to get away from them. But that's not the only way we can take distance from somebody, right? So learning also, as you just said, to become aware that their story, even though they make us in like a big part of their story, and a big part often as well of their dissatisfaction or their unhappiness, right? It's that persecutor and rescuer and victim thing again. Even though that's their story, and in their story, I'm a big role of that, I'm still the author, the director, and the actor actually of my own story. So I get to distance myself energetically and let them play out their story without me needing to have them change either. Because what you said before as well, it's often we think like, okay, in order for me to feel like I'm a full person and I'm good enough, I need them to change. I need them to change their behavior. I need them to treat me differently, so that I can feel good about myself again, so that I can thrive, so that I can feel joy. And yes, it would be easier for us to develop that, right? If we had the surrounding that's supportive of that. But, and that's my belief, if my soul decided to get me into this body, in this environment, with these people that I'm closely related to, then there's a reason for that. And it's not the reason that I need to suffer, but it's a reason for me to grow even stronger into, who I am, and really knowing that for myself. And for me, one of the biggest skills that helped me develop that, letting other people play their own, their own play, their own role, live their own story, and me being able to do mine, was compassion, the understanding of compassion, not only for others, but myself, and forgiveness. And forgiveness is a topic that a lot of people get wrong. A lot of people shy away from that, or like are very like, there's no way I can ever forgive them for what they've done, etc. But if you start actually understanding what forgiveness really is and does, it's really what gives you your power away. It's not for the other, it's for you. Um, and it helps you understand also that, so Vishen speaks that so beautifully. Hurt people hurt people. I say only hurt people, right? So it's only somebody who has been hurt in their own life, who hasn't had the supportive support network that they needed. So they needed to cope in different ways. They coped in the ways that they've seen from these other people who hurt them. They took on their traits, their programs, their ways of interacting, and that's now how they operate very unconsciously, right? They just keep doing what they see. And if I understand that, it's like forgiveness doesn't even there's not even forgiveness anymore for me, because I feel that I see straight through it. I don't need to forgive because there's nothing that I resent necessarily. I might get frustrated at times because my ego still is, touched and hurt a little bit. And I'm confused because I don't really understand. But I know it's nothing personal. And yet it is personal, obviously, but it doesn't have to mean anything about me. Understanding that lets me live my life and create my life. And that's also, yeah, that's for me, that's discipline. Right? So in my joy formula, for example, discipline is a big part. And discipline is a word that I've heard also from Vishen for the first time. He likes to invent words. I'm not sure if he was the inventor of it. But for me, that's also what you shared at the very beginning. It's, accepting things as they are right now, seeing the good in it, being compassionate for myself and others, knowing the real skill of gratitude, which is not only for the good things. A lot of people think like gratitude is only for things that are good and that feel good and that are bright and shiny and all of this. But no, the real skill and art of gratitude comes when we are able to see the gift in every moment. Like every present moment, no matter what it is bringing us, is a gift. That's why it's called a present, right?
Yeah.
So, and then on top of that, we add forgiveness, the skill of forgiveness, and really seeing behind the curtain of somebody else's pain or action. And that's how we create discipline. And if we keep reinforcing that on a daily basis, add a little bit of a pinch of childlike curiosity, it's like there's no way that we cannot enjoy life, even if it sucks sometimes, even if sometimes we need a friend to remind us of certain things because we fall back into this little, we're so trained in this victim role as well. Even if we are aware of it, sometimes we just fall back into it. It's so easy. But it doesn't mean that we have to suffer.
No,
and we can even find joy in the suffering, because sometimes it's really beautiful to have that emotion and to see, okay, what do I want to align myself with? What are my values? What is my personal North Star? Right? And then keep coming back to that. And yeah.
And so thank you so much, Fabi, for for sharing all this. And there are many elements, and I'd like just to take a few. Yes, life happens. Sometimes things which are not nice and we think it's terrible, at the end of the world. But actually, life is testing us. We learn. It's really when we get in what we call a zone which is uncomfortable that we learn. We learn as well how to grow out of that, how to get stronger. See, in relationships, for instance, it could be with your partner, the family as well. There's one area which is very important, and we've got to learn that. It's about boundaries. Very often, because of the way we are raised, always to be nice with others and to do everything for others. It's really about others. And sometimes what happens is some people are respectful, and this is great, but some are less respectful. And basically, they will go over what you know your boundaries are. And what happens is when we let people do that, we lose the esteem of ourselves. It's not about even what they are doing or saying, but really we think, how do I allow somebody to do that? So sometimes, even with family members, with others, with friends, just remember, and it takes courage. Courage is important, but sometimes you've got to say, sorry, but and you say it a certain way, but there are things which we cannot accept. And when we start doing this, when we start saying no, and again, it's not because we don't want, if we are happy to help, but sometimes people want something which we cannot deliver or time-wise. We just have to make people know. And these people who took us for granted all our life, all of a sudden they will realize, oh, wow, I didn't know. And then actually, even if we think, oh, that's going to upset them, well, first, for most people, for the good people, they're going to respect you more. The other thing is, and even if they don't, it doesn't matter, because let's remember what other things are saying, nothing to do with us. So
About
it's
us respecting ourselves and
it's
our own needs a little bit more as well.
exactly, we have core values, and they are strong, entrenched. And you spoke about, there's this beautiful word, which is alignment. When really we strive to live our life aligned with what we know our values are, this is really when life becomes so much easier. Because again, you know what? We surround us by the right people. The others, even the others, sometimes they will leave themselves. It's just that because it's not there. It's not right. There's another word you mentioned, which is so important. It's forgiveness. Yes, forgiveness. And the most important people to forgive for us is ourselves, because sometimes we have guilt, we have shame, etc. And again, as we reflect what we are, if we have this, we reflect onto others. But imagine, again, let's take the case of a relationship. Imagine your partner left you, or you think, how terrible, I know that. And you said as well, an important word, it's ego. Oh yeah, ego is, how come? I'm so good, I'm so nice. But when you
I
really,
am the good person in the relationship, right? I'm
right,
the one that's being hurt. I'm the one that's
ex-
being under pressure.
exactly.
And
But
it's so powerful. That's really where I think the first moment when people start realizing that they're not only the victim in a relationship or in a play, but that they actually also play a role of a persecutor, that they also, like, their perceived persecutor actually sees them as their persecutor. And when
absolutely,
people start realizing that, it's so often in conversation with clients as well, it's like it's that moment of, oh, I've never looked at it from this perspective. I've never took time to put myself into the shoes of my partner or my mother or my father or whoever, to think, feel into why they are treating us the way that they do. And that's like that first realization of, oh, wow, I might have a role in that misalignment in that relationship too. It's maybe not just them being bad, it's maybe also me. And that's when the skill of forgiveness and the practice of forgiveness for oneself in the first place is coming in so handy, paired with compassion as well. That understanding now for myself, like, okay, why did I behave the way that I did after what they did to me? Oh, that's what my mother always done with my father. That's how she used to behave. I see it
exactly.
with other women, so I start recognizing that I've just unconsciously acted out a role and a pattern that I've seen in my surrounding, in my environment. And that's just what I knew. I was never acting consciously because I didn't know how, right? And so now I can start working with myself, and which is the only place that we can really work from anyway. But we can use triggers, we can use relationships to reflect back on us what we personally might not have seen. And this is, yeah, this is huge. And when we are able to do that, to start forgiving ourselves for our actions, and then realign ourselves with our values and consciously act and respond from that place over and over and over again, we reinforce that muscle. Also, like you said, it's like going to the gym. You can't expect you do one exercise once and then you know it. You have to keep going back and redo it and redo it and redo it until one day it's just not even second nature. I always want to say second nature, but eventually it actually becomes your first nature again, because that is your first nature. It's to be kind, it's to be supportive, it's to, yeah, and kindness and being supportive doesn't always mean that you have to comply to everything the other person wants from you. Not at
Exactly.
all, right? What you said, like setting boundaries and being able to know, okay, what do I need? What do I have time for? And then also saying no, because every no also houses a yes, and every yes houses a no. So me saying no to you is also helping me, is also me helping you say more yes to yourself. And it's
Absolutely.
saying yes to myself as well. So there's no
Exactly.
no without a yes, and there's no yes without a no. And when you start seeing things a little bit from different viewpoints,
Yes,
life
and
changes, the way that you experience things changes. And that's really also where I'm going with when I coach with people. I don't I don't help people change their environment. A lot of coaches, I feel, help their clients manifest better surroundings, better jobs, better boyfriends, better this, better that. So changing the outside again, manifesting, right? Manifest something else that than what you have right now, something better. But the actual work and the actual thing that we want to do is that inner work, is to be able to see, to feel that joy and to feel the good with the people that we already have. And maybe that's not possible with everyone. Maybe that's not possible with every job, but I believe it is. Maybe at some point you still decide to leave them. Maybe you still decide to change to a different job. But now you do it out of a conscious decision because you know that you just want something different. It's not because you think that this is going to make you happier. I believe that
absolutely.
we are able to feel joy, to feel contentment, love, gratitude, all these positive emotions, even amidst the most insane, ridiculous moments and situations. And stories of people from the Holocaust and other crazy times have shown that. It's not the environment, it's not the surrounding necessarily, it's how you choose to live life under all these circumstances. And then
Exactly.
again, they didn't have the choice to leave, right? So
No,
obviously
exactly.
they had to find a way to kind of like cope and stuff within that environment. But then again, also nowadays, there's people who cannot just leave it right now. But I can still help them see more positive and get the brain wired to more of the little things and the little pleasures and the little pieces of gratitude. And then life will change naturally because you just choose to have different things, but no more in order to feel more joyful, but in order to just have a different experience. So
Absolutely. And you know that, yeah, again, we talked about, forgiveness. Forgiveness doesn't mean forgetting. we know what happened, but you know what? We
Letting
decided, okay,
go.
yeah, we learned it, there was a reason, but afterwards, you know, we really, when we detach from that and look at even afterwards, we understand actually why a relationship didn't work. And we accept it because, you know what? The universe sent us a sign. It was not right for us. Sometimes we've got to recognize, because we hold on to things, and I've done that as well. But, it was not right. There were messages. So at a given time is when you really decide to detach. What does it mean? It means you open up to a lot of opportunities. And, there's this saying, and I could see it happening so many times over the last few years. One door closes, three doors open. You don't know how it's happened, and you don't need to know how. You just see that. It's really about putting you in the right stage. And what you were saying, of course, we have a certain environment, but again, there's so much we can do, Fabi. If we try to make it work, but at a given time we have to stop. You know what? Because this overwork, it's like perfectionism, it's like overthinking. We try and try and try. No, we try once, we try twice. And this is it. If people are not ready, for changing their relations with you, and again, it's their thing. But then we really need to move on. So what I would say is that manifesting is an interesting word, but for me, it's like projecting yourself. Where do you want to be? It's not like a dream, but we have really to feel it. Like imagine, Fabi, today you are surrounded by all these beautiful friends, and you've got already a lot. You and me are part of a beautiful peer coaching community, and this is really sharing, it's caring for each other. This is what I call real friendship. And you know what? It's unconditional as well. We don't expect anything, we do it because all of us feel good. And you see the energy which is coming, the global energy is much bigger than each of our individual energies. So it's like in a couple, in a relationship. I really like the concept of, in a relationship, 1 + 1 = 3. What does it mean? That each person in the relationship is a whole with a history, with their friends. They can have they can have different hobbies, and it's great. We accept them exactly the way they are, right? Now, vice versa, they accept us as well the way they are. But what makes a relationship great is we don't have to compromise on things, because it's like, even this word is like a negative word. Of course, what we do is we want
What
to
was the
make
word? Sorry, I missed the word.
compromise.
Compromise.
And I say we don't. It's not that we need to. What happens is, naturally, when we see that with the other person, we can do something which is even beyond ourselves. We are going to go to another level. We are going to do things together. We are going to care for each other.
Yeah,
So
I
it's
think how I see it is like you have these two individuals. They are both their own person,
yeah.
right? They will have their own life. But in a relationship now, you have that third person. You have that third entity
It's
that is
exactly.
created like between the two. And between the two as both of them already being whole and creating something completely new. And oftentimes how we grow up, it's a programming, it's a way of how we speak and how we say. It's like it's I'm only half a thing, and there's another half a thing, and I need this other half so that I can feel whole, because they give me the love that I never allowed myself to feel for myself. They give me the appreciation, and at first they do, right? And so it feels all bubbly and awesome and good, but then over time they're just doing their thing again, and now you feel that you lost them, or that they're not acknowledging you anymore, and you're alone, and you don't feel that love anymore so much as you did. It's like it's so twisted and torn. So that's yeah, a whole other avenue of topic, like how
And it's
relationships. But I would love to also wrap it up with you also shared it just before, like we just struggle forward and like see ourselves in the future and want to do this and that. And actually, wait, I want to share this real quick. There is an interesting concept, and I've put that up. Wait, I'm gonna talk real quick a little bit more. So oftentimes in society, we think that you can either be happy and full of joy and have fun, or you can have you can have success and have to work hard, but you can sort of like not have both, right? That's a little bit what we think. It's like if
Well,
you're having fun, you're not like you can't get successful, and if you're really successful, like you just have to work harder. You can't really have fun. And
but
one interesting thing, can you see my screen right now?
yes, I can.
It's also a concept from Vision. So I don't know if you've seen this little
No, I've not seen it
thing.
before.
I've made my own little version. It's basically you have these four different quadrants of happiness levels, of joy
Mhm,
levels.
mhm,
And on the left axis, the vertical axis, you have the ability to be happy in the here and now, right? To feel
yes.
joyful, etc. And then on the horizontal line, you have the vision of the future, purpose, ambitions, and goals. So that's kind of like where these two arrows. So vision says if you have no ability to feel happy and joyful in the here and now, and you have no vision for the future, you don't really feel there's any purpose, you don't really have ambitions and goals, that's when you end up in the shit pit. And the shit pit is really, that's not a fun place to be because you're really deep down in your victim drama dynamic. And it is likely very helpful there to get professional help for us to really get out in one way or another. Now, if we have a vision and we have goals and purpose and we chase these things, but we still are not able to create that contentment, that joy, that happiness in the here and now, we end up in the hustle trap, I call it. And
Mhm,
hustle trap is really that ambitious running after the goal after goal after goal, because once I have that, I can feel happy. Once I have that, I can feel joyful. Once I have that, I can relax and, lean back and enjoy life. But it never comes because you just keep hustling for the next thing, and then the feeling doesn't happen. So you think, oh, that wasn't it. So I need to go to the next. I need to go to the next. But if we don't have vision, we don't have goals, we don't have a big future purpose, we only have this amazing ability to just be happy in the here and now, we end up in the cozy comfort zone,
mhm,
which is, to be honest, I feel like for some people, I wouldn't want to get them out of there. Because for some people, that's exactly where they need to be. That's what they need for their life to, to just be. But I would love for them at least to be aware that if we are here, there's a very high likelihood that at some point in their life, they will be starting to resent and like, okay, but now what? I have nothing big achieved, nothing big happened really in my life. I'm just happy, I'm just good here every day. And then you start resenting your entire life for not having set more goals or maybe having had a bigger future vision or something. So it's just something to be aware of here. And then obviously where we might all want to get to is the magical power zone. And the magical power zone is where what you just spoke before as well. It's like when one door closes, three doors open. We don't really know why, but it just happens because we have a big picture vision for our lives. We have a North Star. We have ideas of where we want to go and how it could look like, how it should look like, how we want it to look like and feel like. And then we also have that ability to just be happy and joyful in the here and now. No matter what, no matter if I'm achieving that next goal or not, I'm still joyful. I still have fun in my adventure. And I think just being aware of that of those quadrants and knowing a little bit where we're at can be a huge game changer.
Well, absolutely. And this is really beautiful. And you see, I haven't seen it before, Fabienne, but I so much relate to that because first, you know what? We are all of us are on this planet for a reason. You know, we are here. We all, each of us has unique abilities. And again, let's put ego aside. It's really, you know, what people say, oh, you can do this, you can do that. And again, it's like, and it's really about how can we help, you know, others a way or another. You know, a nurse could help patients, doctor. I mean, like, we all of us, so somebody good in DIY can help, you know, you can help people transform their lives. So it's first to recognize, you know, really what's, and it's in us somewhere. How can we develop it? How can we get it to another stage? So when we know that, to know how we are going to do this, sometimes we don't. We have the vision and we've got to believe in ourselves. You see, the way we talk to ourselves, I can do it. And, you know, the way we talk to ourselves, our words, our thoughts, our emotions have vibrations, and they have an impact on our brain. So the more we do things, the more things are going to happen. I mean, for me, it's obvious now. So it's really about believing it and yes, enjoying every moment, but still have something, you know, something you are aiming for. You know, this stage where you are, which you mentioned, like, oh, yeah, people stay in the comfort zone.
Cozy
Oh,
comfort zone.
yeah, and there are so many people doing this, but you know what? And the question I would ask, you know, coaches is, you know, is there something you really think you should do or you want to do in your life and you don't do it for the moment? Oh, yes, but it's not possible. And then I would say, hold on a second, let's see, because in life, everything is possible. The past doesn't define your future. Today, whatever we do, whatever step we want to go to, we can. We can. Sometimes we need assistance, a coach, could be a therapist. So it would be to heal issues from the past. But a coach takes you from where you are today and where you want to go, you know? And it's, you see, what a lot of people are missing today, it's really what I noticed is a lot of people really want something to change. They've got deep issues they would like to talk, but they realize they've got nobody to talk to. Because you know what? They tried with the family, with their friends, and people criticize them or shut them down. And all of a sudden they said, I can't do it. So why are we here? I would say coaches, generally speaking, is first of all, we are here to offer others a very safe environment where they can express themselves
To
without the
think
fear
big
of being
also, right?
judged, of
Yeah.
being criticized, of being given unsolicited advice. First, we are there to listen. It's not about us, it's about the people we want to help. And then when they feel that they have the freedom and the safety to express themselves, this is when miracles happens. We are like a sounding board to them. We just, you know, we're not there to advise, we are there to help them dig into themselves with the belief that they have the solutions. And very often, at the end of a call, as you know, we have people saying, wow, I didn't know this could come out of me. And again, it's not us coaches, we just help them doing this. So, and this is the beauty. And, you know, for
And I
myself,
think, yeah, it's like any relationship really, if and I always aim for my clients to see that eventually that you don't always have to have a coach right next to you in order for you to learn and be, you know, be shown different things. You can see anyone as your coach or teacher or guru. And
absolutely.
if you start seeing things, and maybe that's just to wrap it up as well, it's it's that ability to start seeing, to flip the drama triangle, where you no longer see persecutors, but you see challengers.
Yeah. And you
For
see
example, right?
opportunities.
So if there is somebody, or if there is a situation that normally or in the past you would have perceived as something that's out to get you, something that's out to hurt you and make you feel bad. Now I'm like, oh, wait a minute, right? That childlike curiosity is like, okay, what is this? What is this challenge? What is this helping me learn about myself? How can I learn how to realign with my own values? How can I learn from the situation to step up into my core power, into my personal power? How can I cultivate more compassion even for that person or for that situation? It doesn't always have to be a person necessarily. And just grow from it. So seeing it as a challenge that is here to help me grow and help me realign rather than here to get me and get me out. And that comes also with the understanding of the different levels of consciousness that we're having, right? So the bottom line consciousness is that victim mentality, and then the hustler comes like, okay, I have ability, I can change things, but then we're just running to get better, and then we learn that, oh, okay, life is not only happening to us, it's not only happening for me, it's actually happening through me, and then it grows and grows in awareness. And so the different levels, Michael Neal shares that so beautifully. He talks about the consciousness or the awareness elevator, that from different perspectives you just start seeing things differently, and maybe with a little bit more distance as well, right? And so you don't take things so personally, and you can create that distance, as you said at the beginning as well. So that's really huge, to learn to see things as opportunities and challenges rather than things that want to get to you and want to get you down. So I
Exactly.
love that
You know what
connection.
it's about as well, really taking our power back. You know,
Mhm.
and very often we let other people, situations, jobs do it. So no, it's our duty to us, our duty to the world to do that. And you see, when we spoke about coaches or that, it's not really about that. It's really about having someone. It could be your best friend. It could be somebody you really trust, somebody who will help you to be accountable for your actions. Again, it's not to judge, but you imagine you share with
Just to remind you, yeah, it's not
one, this is
judging.
my dream, this is what I
Yeah.
want to do. It's only that, it's a sounding board. Okay, if you haven't done it, why? But again, not just asking you. And because you see, we cannot do things on our own. And this, I learned the hard way as well. I tried, but no, we need somebody we can really exchange with. And when we have this relationship, this is really what's nice. So the idea is, again, if anyone wants to change something, it's never too late. Just a question of taking a little step, and afterwards, really miracles happen.
Mm, love that. I think we can wrap it up with that, right? Beautifully said. Um, yeah, I think we covered a lot of ground around like what it
Yeah,
means to
thank
live,
you.
how we can live a joyful life.
Yeah,
I think, yeah, no, I'm gonna bring this in another workshop. There's one big element as well that I think has a huge impact, whether somebody is able to make these switches or not. And that has to do with the state of your nervous system. I'm not going to get into this right now. I'm going to use that for a next for a next episode.
well,
But
but you have
that is huge,
well,
right? Because if the
absolutely as
nervous
well.
system is in stress and closed up, doors are not going to open. Joy is not going to happen. We need to give that nervous system safety first. And there's exercises that we can do, very simple
But
ones. I think I
yeah,
have the next workshop actually scheduled.
well,
We're definitely going to do
exactly.
something on that.
Just you know, let's remember to take sometimes with ourselves and for
Mm.
ourselves. Just, to go through our thoughts, meditation. I'm sure this will be part of the next topic. And do you know what? Again, it's understanding ourselves and accepting ourselves and calming down our mind. And when we do that, again, this is very helpful. Thank you for this great reminder.
Thank you. Thank you for the conversation, Danielle.
Thank you.
It
Yes.
was, yeah, huge delight. And See you on the next show.
Let's go on being happy, Fabi. Big smiles. And as you know, we are in here beautiful environment here. So this is life. Just like let's enjoy every moment. And we never know what's around the corner. We don't expect things, but when we are happy, things happen. This is just that.
Wonderful. All right. Thank you so, so much, Danielle, and everybody else who was watching. Feel free to drop your questions or comments, how you like these conversations in the comment sections, wherever this is going to be here of the video. And yeah, join us for the next conversation or workshop coming soon. Stay tuned. Bye.